So first of all, I just want to start with saying thank you, God. You're gonna hear me saying that a lot at the beginning of the videos because this is something I want to say before the day comes where I don't have the strength or I'm too much in pain to thank God. So before that day starts, I just want to say thank you, God, because there's things that I've seen that makes me appreciative of just how lucky I was in certain ways. Unfortunately, I don't think that I'm lucky that I'm a target individual. That means that I'm a test subject and I'm a human subject where the Department of Defense is utilizing this technology to do so much horrible things to me. But this is not unique to me, and I've been very well validated that this is obviously not something that's only happening to me. And of course, it makes no sense that somebody like me will have this much effort of distractions and so much things will happen and focus onto him just because whatever BS story they come up with. And it just makes sense that the reason why so much is happening to me in that nature, why so much extreme advanced technologies applied onto me, eh, so much effort to cause misery, it's not just because of whatever bull BS storylines, but the reality is this misery is part of a depatterning tactic utilized to break down the test subject, to then have the ability to manipulate that target individual. It is actually a method to get results that consists of something hard to believe, but the manipulation, control manipulation, complete manipulation of the thoughts and the mind. And finding out that these tactics are very disturbing. Of course, there's the physical torture, but the psychological torture is the most disgusting of it all. You know, pain is pain. You feel you react to pain the way you react to any pain. Pain, you shout, you cry, typical pain reaction. But the psychological torture is something else. And the reason why they implement this psychological torture is they try to depattern you, making you believe and make you see yourself in different fashion. They want to break down this ego of the target individual. And that means there's going to be a lot of nastiness that they're going to force you to experience. And this technology, once they have captured the print of your brain, the signature of your brain, they can start making you experience things that you would not experience naturally. And I mean, those things are manipulations of your mind that have been the most disturbing to me. Now, I gotta say that obviously more than that's happening to me. My organs for sure are being destroyed. My gastro organs. I'm having problem digesting, and matter of fact, as I'm speaking right now, I can feel my guts and my organs there, just having struggling issue. I don't know. They keep talking about how they fuse things together. They're doing things to my organs, making it hard for me to be able to function in that way, in the gastro way. Now, because this technology has the ability to do these things to you remotely, it's the sophistication of the technology is just amazing. And the technology is not only the manipulation of thoughts, but the ability of manipulating your organs. And you hear people saying they can do these surgical operations remotely. And I'm like, oh, I understand that that's true because I'm feeling my organs being destroyed. But there's no actual cuts. So whatever is happening to my organs is happening to me without somebody literally cutting my skin open and doing that, but doing that directly to the organ. So this is the obviously technology that is not the regular people, civilians of any sort, are having and doing that. It's obvious that the technology that have the ability to manipulate your brain, destroy your organs to this fashion is technology that's coming from the Department of Defense. It's not any of these BS storylines they try to make it seem like it is. We are just test subjects. And we are test subjects to this very advanced technology that the government have been working on for years that can do so much to you remotely. This technology that is utilized in these disgusting ways onto us for the purpose of weaponizing this technology. And we're just guinea pigs. They have the ability to make us sick and make us feel better in a sense of what they make us experience can be changed back. And so they do this back and forth. It is disgusting. And they contract perps. Perps are contracted civilians. Those contracted civilians are implementing this Department of Defense tactics that are just nasty. This perps is why I'm so thankful that I never had to live my life the way they live. Now, what they do is not hard in the sense of the efforts and the intellect needed. They don't pick the geniuses only. Anybody's welcome. Where you see the sophistication of this technology is within the technology. The individual don't need to be this sophisticated. Some of them are children. That shows how sophisticated the technology is. So I see these childlike individuals implementing these psyops, gaslighting methods to try to make you accept these things, which consist of diverging and deflect from reality. I'm hearing how these perps contracted by these governmental entities are prepping this frame, right? What I mean by frame, I mean that they are trying to they're creating this thing where they're gonna say that I did something to somebody, mostly a child. I won't. I'll see soon maybe who this person they use, who's this poor person that's gonna be doomed, because once you're involved in this program in that way, once you do this kind of things, you don't come back from that. That's things that follow you the rest of your life, and you expect something to come back. There's no good that comes out of it. You are basically no longer somebody who can respect yourself. But they try to change that. The way they say, "Oh, we're gonna, what? We're gonna send you to jail." Try to make it sound like these people are not in a program that, first of all, does horrible things that you heard. Test subjects are not only men; they can be. It has to be women too, and not just women, even children, because you have to understand what this is about. This is about the development of technology that can manipulate the brain. Now, they need a lot of brain to sample their technology onto, not even the bodies, humans. So you can continuously improve on the technology, but sampling on more and more and more and more and more and more human brains. And they have to be diverse. They have to be different. They have to be men, women, children, black, white, Asian, whatever culture. It has to be female, male, whatever. All sample of all kind of men from all kind of culture, that's what they need to do. So these people, these perps involved in this program, are involved in this. I know that they have been involved in torturing even children and women. And so you are involved in this program. You then involve yourself in framing somebody. And when I mean framing, especially when it comes to them saying that I did something to a child or something like that, and they try to frame me that way, the child himself or herself is going to be, there's going to be trouble for that child. But I have no sympathy for that in regard of that child, because what I expect is this child is being groomed to be doing that to others. Imagine you're that level of compromise this young, to be involved in this level of disturbingness, the future only means that you have one like direction, is to continue to do this nastiness. So that person, this child, is going to be doing that again. What's the future of some child that's raised to frame people? Like literally going in, like going in front of like a court and say, or cops, and come up with stories like that. This is basically, you just have already trained this child to be mentally dis, disturbed. This is not an impulsive thing. That's literally training that child, make that child involved in this, and even training them, grooming them. So these people, they to be able to even sell your child like that, is nasty, but I'm sure the incentives are worth it for them. And I'm sure financial incentives, and maybe they think in their mind that, oh, that's probably selling our children in a good way. It's like, no way. Whatever incentives that you're gonna get, this at this price, nobody will want to really do it. Nobody who cares about their children. But with that being said, they are appreciative of this child and the parents to have sold their children for the result they want me to experience. Because the reality is, they wanted to live in a bubble. A falsified bubble, a bubble of disgusting falsification. That's disgusting. You hear the word deflect. These people are pure gaslighting trash. This is part of this CIA tactics of disorienting the target individual. Gaslighting on steroids. They deflect reality every time reality is shown in their face. That's part of how they want the target individuals to be confused. One thing I notice is, for example, for me, first of all, target individuals, they vilify us, right? They find whatever they can use to vilify us as they manipulate us. They do these nasty things to me. Like I said, the manipulations are disturbing, but they are meant to break you down. It's part of the breaking down of the individual so they can manipulate them, psychologically break you down, even physically, so they can reshape you in different ways. The breakdown is pedophilia centric. It's not unique to me. The target individuals have said it in many ways, been validated in ways that you can't even comprehend. When you hear target individuals saying that almost all of us are experiencing this child pornography implanted in our brain, to view in our brain, is disgusting, but this is the pedophilia type of torture I'm talking about. Forcing us to get sexual reaction to children. This is the pedophilia type of torture I'm talking about. That target individuals, no, only me is saying that, but multiple people, multiple individuals who are targeted saying the same thing, showing a clear pattern of the tactics. Matter of fact, it's so bad that when I initially found out about the target individual, the first petition about TI was the symptoms that were named were remote pedophilia, right? That's when I started putting things together to, like, okay, this is not only just happening to me, but this is actually a systematic tactic of manipulating target individual. But with me, what they're trying to do is like, no, but what's happening with you, right? Is we are making you experience what you've experienced when you were a child. We are making you experience the reactions, the stimulations that you once experienced when you were a kid. That now you are being mapped to have sex stimulation that you have once had as a child. That we're making your brain mapped out to your brain when you were a kid. Basically, you're experiencing your childhood brain. Now, that alone shows the level of illogicalness they want you to be on. And so they try to gaslight you into accepting this, in this nonsensicalness, when, one, first of all, I'm an adult. Why are you making me have a brain of a child? That's what you're saying. This is the logical aspect of things, that when they want me to think in a logical way. And and two, that is not true. They're even manipulating the memory of my childhood to implant this stimulation in my childhood. And then they go even younger when I'm like very young as a child, 9-year-old, 8-year-olds, like that young, and say, no, we mapped it to that. So you understand how disgusting it is. And it's just nonsensical. Because you are still manipulating my brain to be a child. Why are you trying to do that? I'm an adult. But the reality is they have these tactics that are very pedophilia centric. And so with you, which is me in this case, they want me to see them that, no, you know what? Yes, we do the pedophilia type of torture, but you is different. We're just making you feel the things that you experienced when you were a kid. And even though it's like, no, it's part of the psyop, because they want to present themselves as these protectors of children, as this like sensible individual, as these rational individuals, where yes, you're rationally involving yourself in a program that manipulates the brain in these pedophilia ways of reacting to children. It's disgusting, but it's a common tactic utilized onto target individual. Then to deflect that, they're like, oh, you're gonna be raped. Oh, we're going to changing, deflecting consistently, because the validation are too strong, and they have to dumb themselves down for the gaslighting purpose. So deflecting is utilized all the time. So, for example, I'm listening to a testimony, the pedophilia type of torture. Oh, they're gonna burn you. Why? What? You change the subject immediately. Talk about me being burned. What does me being burned mean? What does it have to do with anything? You just try to change the subject because you hear that there's a clear pattern that you do the pedophilia type of torture. So now you want to change the subject into me being burned, me being framed, me being like whatever, deflecting. Because it's like you're showing a mirror. It's like, no, you're gonna die slow in pain. You're gonna rot in hell. What does it have to do with this? Then they say some other, oh, it's gonna be our prison. You do the pedophilia type of torture. Right in hell. Deflecting. Every time. And then, now what they try to do, they project onto you everything. These people who participate in this program, who are perps, civilians, contracted to do these things, are working for these entities, obviously. The entities running this program at the DoD. These bottom feeders they are trained to do what they need to do to implement these tactics. The people in charge of them, the true people running this program, are the Department of the Defense. Department of Defense is running the show. Now, the reality of the Department of Defense and the issues they have is obvious and is clear and is consistent. There's been an issue with child pornography trafficking within the DoD network. It's so bad that in 2018, Child Protective Services ranked the DoD network for trafficking some of the most child pornography in the whole country of the United States, ranking 19th out of 2,900 network looked at, making them a very top tier in regard of the volume of child porn trafficking. Now, those are the entities running this program. So they do the perfect reaction to you and projecting this disturbing manipulation onto you while working for entities where these issues are real. But the reason why they do these things to you is to break you down. But the humiliation of reality that they're actually working for entities where pedophilia is truly a problem, it's not where they're mapping you to when you're a kid or whatever. And then manipulating and literally conditioning you 24/7 to have reaction to children. So your brain is restructured in ways that forces you to have stimulations toward children. And their job is to continuously keep you on this level of thinking and training your brain that way for the purpose of breaking you down, so you start seeing yourself differently. When you look at yourself, they want you to look at yourself in a different fashion. It's part of the breaking down of the psyche, of the image, of the self-image, self-esteem, so they can rebuild you in different ways. It is disgusting. But that's what they do. They want you to break yourself, like break your self-image, so they can start recreating in this different fashion. Now, with me at this point, it's never gonna happen. I have so much validation. I love myself so much more, and unfortunately, I know the reality that, unfortunately, every time I look at a child, they're gonna force me to get stimulations. It's what they do. It's what they've shown they've been doing for years and decades, based on not only what I'm experiencing, but based on other testimonials and based on the tactics they've been utilizing to break down target individuals. Now, to, to validate themselves, they do a few things. First of all, when it comes to the pedophilia type of torture, they bring up what I did when I was a child. When I was in middle school, I did something stupid to myself. I did something stupid, which has to be exaggerated, but did it never happen again, and that was that. Kids can do impulsive things. You see kids do stupid things, they know that. They have children, and they see how children are able to impulsively do things that they will never do again. But this is not what they're in. They're not here to be rational. What's rational to them is how can we rationally make this individual accept these manipulations? Oh, let's just say we are making you experience what you experienced when you were a kid. Okay? You remember what you did as a child, even though they rationally know that, okay, he did some dumb thing as a kid, kid can do some impulsive things. Let's try to make it rational that we are making him experience what he experienced as a child. Matter of fact, let's do that. Let's make him believe that he's paying for the stupid thing he did as a child, right? Us involved in a program where we obviously use children in these ways to improve our technology, meaning that we even use test subjects that are children and torture them for the purpose of improving. There's validation, there's testimonials of target individuals seeing their children, seeing children they are teaching or involved with, in the sense of teaching them, like the teachers talking about what they they try to manipulate, what they see their kids, that their students, their clients go through. Mothers and fathers seeing the whole family, 5 kids and all, going through the same disturbing things that they go through. So they torture children sexually, they harm them, they suffocate them, they get them sick, and we talk about young babies as young as 3 weeks old being tortured, toddlers as young as 3 years old being sexually tortured. I mean, it's just disgusting. Now, they're involved in this program, so you understand that they know that they're involved in something that is so disgusting. And the way they try to counter that is like, oh, we're worse because we torture children. Oh, and they say that in this the ways of disturbingness. This, what's the word? Sarcastic ways. Oh, we're worse. Oh, we're so bad because you torture children. Is that what you try to say? That you're so bad, and you're saying it like that way because you're involved in a program that literally tortured children? Delusional trash. Yes, you are disgusting. And then they try to make me, in my head, they try to have this stupidity of battles. This is all manipulating reality and narrations. And so they truly want you to be like, no, you pay for what you did when in middle school. It's like, when you are here killing children. And when I say, oh, you're deflecting, no. I'm putting things in perspective. I know a child is capable of doing stupid things like that. That's what kids can do. They're impulsive. Kids can do stupid things, never think about it ever again. That's the mind of a child doing something stupid, childish, impulsive. And you never seen that. This never happened again. So you understand that was just an impulsive. You are not an impulsive child involved in you are an adult involved in program where they literally children are tortured, sexually tortured too. And so you want me to look at you, tell me how I'm going to pay for the stupid, impulsive thing I did as a kid, while I know you're involved in a program where they literally testing, the test subjects are inclusive of children, where they literally suffocate kids. This is not deflecting. It's putting things in perspective. What you're deflecting is when I bring up what you do to kids and you talk about how I'm going to fry in hell. They are disgusting. They don't live in this disgust. That's the job. That's what they're supposed to be doing. They want to keep this false bubble, this reality, this bubble of falsification, of false reality. You know how they even making me think right now? This is how this technology has the ability to manipulate your thoughts. They take over your brain and create logics and thoughts that are so disturbing. This is why they use test subjects that are human beings to see how they can break down the rationality and the logic of a human being. You know what they're trying to compare to? Because they're being sarcastic, say, oh, we're worse. Oh, we're worse because we torture children. What the battle they try to have me in my brain, and this is how sophisticated this technology is they're making me think when I was in bed, what they would do, especially early on, they would wake me up at 3 in the morning, tell you, no, you are, it's you are, basically saying you are a pedophile. Because they were making me experience this nastiness. It's like, no, it's you are, it's you. I'm like, it's 3 in the morning, 2, 3 in the morning, really early in the morning, before the sun rises, way before the sun rises, a few hours, maybe 3, 4 hours before that. And I'm being told you are. Yeah, I'm not identified with this nastiness. I know it's not me. It's like, yeah, it might be. I said that just like, shut up. Like, of course, I know it's not me. But I'm like, I'm super sleepy. I'm like, whatever. Go. You're full of shit. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I might be. Yeah. They say, oh, you might be. Sirens goes on. It's like, you see, you're being sarcastic here. This is the kind of stupidity they want you to start thinking. It's like, no, you just admit it. There was full-on sirens. And now they're like, oh, you might be. It's like, yeah, now more than ever I might be. After all this validation now, I might be even more. My point is, I know it's not me, but I know you guys manipulate me in these disgusting ways. Now I know that not only you do this pedophilia type of torture, but you actually torture children. And you guys, when I bring the fact that you torture children, you say, oh, we're worse because we torture children. Yes, you torture children. That's all. Yes, you are doing horrible things to children. The testimonies here are showing the exact validation that shows that you guys are not only you torture children for the purpose of this technology, which is disgusting enough, but it's not they're doing it for pleasure of it. But the entity that runs this program, right, are being ranked by Child Protective Services, and I'm talking about the DoD, in regard of sharing the most child porn out of all the network in the United States. The DoD was ranked in 2018, right, not too long ago, by Child Protective Services as 19th out of 2,900 network sharing or trafficking the most child porn. You understand? Nasty bottom feeders. And so as I'm saying that, they're trying to deflect. They're like, no, it's going to be our porn. Because guess what? These people protecting children are saying how they're going to frame me, inclusive of implanting child porn. Because in their mind, they want me to look at them and say, no, we're different because look at us. We're women. We're different. We're this femme fatale group of strong women. And when we do this, it's fierce. So it's going to be our porn. Our child porn is going to be implanted in your computer. This trash working for entities where child porn is such an issue with the trafficking that they rank top tier consistently. And you have childlike individuals, which they like to utilize. They have no self-respect. People can be like saying, now have trained themselves to normalize, oh, We're gonna implant child porn, art porn. Nasty low lives. Now, the way they validate themselves is just they create their own validations. They manipulate them, like they manipulate me into creating validation. For example, I'm working, and that's when you know these people are so pathetic. But your brain is so fried that even that in your brain is a battle. I'm trying to figure something out. A while ago, I said something about I need to take the day off, but for some reason, and I say I'll take the day off, but I need to. I'll be in this. I'll be in the call for this. Excuse me. For this meeting that I wanted to be there. I said that in this message thing where my direct colleagues can see that. And so I get to that meeting later on, and there was a person who's higher ranked in the sense of work, and we have a meeting, and he seemed like he was surprised that I was there, but I was like, I said that I was going to be there, and on top of that, they're perps, they know this, so I'm like, oh, maybe he was not part of this messaging board, right? It was not there, and they immediately started trying to make me, and even if he wasn't there, others could have said that because there's everybody else meeting with him later on. So I'm like, okay, well, they could have said that. So I know it's a lot of acting, pretending like they don't know what's happening. Obviously, they see what's happening to me. These perps are fully involved in what's happening to me and participating, right? So he knew, even though he's just, you know, he was trying to play dumb, right? But I was like, okay, well, maybe we should add you to this messaging board so you can see what's happening, right? So you're aware that, until this person because he's taking the place of somebody who's currently not available. And so they start making me think in these ways. The way they try to trick you is they make you have thoughts to then later on prove you wrong. It's kind of stupid because they do that all the time. It's just like, okay, you forced me to think this way because you're gonna, and sometimes it's just so like random. I let it happen. I don't care. It's like, oh, this person did that because they want to do this and that. They're like, okay, you don't care. You're not gonna be like, oh, that's a false stop. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I'm like, these are for false stop. You wanted to say that. You want me to think this way. So later on, I find out this. I understand. But sometimes I don't care. It's like whatever. Let those thoughts go the way they want it to go. It just makes no sense. It's going to just fatigue me for no reason. Just go ahead with these false thoughts. It doesn't faze me anymore. It's whatever. It's just like I go in. It's just almost like entertaining at this point. It's like this thought of this person is doing that because it does. Like no, this person is actually out because this person is sick. But whatever. Let that happen. It's gonna go and whatever. As in like I'm not gonna care much about that. Then I tried to add this person to the messaging board. I was like, how do you do this again? I was like, oh, maybe, and this is where this false stuff started. Maybe somebody like who created this is supposed to be accepting of that or something like that. So either way, I asked this person, do you want to be added to the message board? It's like, no need to. Okay, whatever. But today, or a few days ago, I tried to like add somebody else. And I was having issue finding it. I was like, oh, maybe this person. Like, I don't know. Like, it's not like I don't know, but it's like I'm just mentally, I'm tired. I don't have the energy to truly go through everything. And I know, like, it's hard for me to function. My brain's being fried up. It's going to be hard. And I've accepted the reality that my brain functionality is slowly diminishing, right? And they're controlling me so much more than before. So I'm like, oh, okay, maybe that's that. Maybe it's not. I don't care. Well, I'll ask if anything. So I asked the message board, can somebody add this person? And somebody did. And somebody is like, oh, okay, if that person did it, so I can do it too. So maybe I'm just too tired. My brain is just too fried up to just be able to look up this, I'm not in this. My brain is just super inefficient at this point. It's just really tired and very fatigued. So maybe, and it's like, okay, so, and immediately I was like, okay, if this person can do it, I can do this. So that ends that. I was like, okay. And then when I'm going to go to this message board, immediately I see these things where the points out how to do this. Like, oh, okay, that's how you do it. And obviously, it's them showing me this, right? And I'm like, okay, that's how it's supposed to be done. Then they use this to try to show validation of the nasty reaction they do to me. It's like, you see, we show you just that's you. You see, you didn't know how to do this. We showed you how to do that. Now this is validation. It's like, no, I'm fried up. My brain is so tired to be able to look into things and see functionality. But you're so delusional to think that with all the validation I have at this point, you think I'll be like, oh, they're not doing the pedophilia type of torture. They're just showing me who I am. Because you pointed out how to add somebody on this messaging board. It has gone to that level. This is how they validate themselves. This is how they validate themselves. Some random, even at one point it was like even the misspelling of somebody. It's like, oh, you misspelled this, you see? This is how they try to gaslight you by any means. So if you do something wrong and make errors or can't figure something out that's just, because at the same time, your brain is no longer, it's just fried up. You're not going to be as efficient. You're going to be full of error. Functioning right now is tough. But they're going to find, oh, you see, you can do this. At one point, they were even saying, oh, you see, you figure out what this lyric in this song means. Thanks to us. That means these things that we're doing to you. It's not us. That's proof. They validate themselves in ways that are just so ridiculously child-minded. It makes no sense. And they're supposed to be like, you see how we helped you figure this out? That's us helping you figure who you are, something like that. We mapped it. It's you and this going to the retardation. To gaslight you into accepting these things. This is part of gaslighting. So I'm like, oh, I know when they do these things. They're going to do that continuously. I'm going to try to figure something out. It's going to take me a while. I'm going to have a struggle to even figure that out. And they can show me to do this and this. The reason why they show me is because they want to be like, hey, you see that? That's you. We just mapped it. We made your brain. Like, oh my gosh. These mind games they play to get you to accept this thing is part of how they want you to be gaslighted and acceptive. There's going to be a lot of mind games to try to get you to accept this, to identify with these things, to even be doubtful that that they are manipulating you. It's all part of the process of breaking you down to accept and to identify with these manipulations. I was listening to Robin Duncan interview in this podcast called Concrete, and he was saying they have this different mind games of playing with you to try to make you identify with these things. It's part of this like psychological mind games to try to get you to subscribe. But some of this is so childlike. It's like, so you think because of that, I should now identify with the things that everybody else is saying that they're forced to experience? But I should think that no, us, which is this trash, is just making me be a child. And now the pedophilia type of torture, which is on its own, shows how retarded they want you to be. It is delusionality. And on top of that, they keep telling me how they're going to frame me. Which shows people who frame you, they have these tactics that are deceiving, disturbing. Does it validate you? They're trash and bottom feeders. And they're going through their repetitions, deflections, and tactics to gaslight you into accepting this. Target individual, stay strong. But I'm so thankful that I didn't have to dumb myself down like that. The reason why they can dumb themselves to that level is because my brain is also going straight down. I've seen people who are very strategic, analytic, and very logical, turning to people that, for the purpose of gaslighting you, do not identify with this nasty manipulation. People of all sorts will be involved. Try to get you to accept this manipulation by presenting themselves in these ways. It's like, look at me, I can do this and that, I'm a logical person, I'm a mother, I'm a father. You see, that is you. We're not doing the pedophilia type of torture. We are matching you to you as a kid. We protect kids. Clowns. Till I'm attacking individual, stay strong.